Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Penapple and today I am doing a starter home speed build. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. It's titled What Are You? Because I ended up pulling from a lot of different sort of architectural styles and whatnot. So I kind of don't know what it is myself, but I really liked how it ended up. With this build I tried to go out of the box, and so I think that I did. One of the things that inspired this was the roofing. With starter homes, I try and use as much interesting roofing as I can because roofing is free. It wouldn't be in real life, but it is in game, and so I try and sort of use that to make the build architecturally interesting. So yeah, I originally wanted the roof to be over stairs, so sort of like going down, but that's not allowed by the in-game sort of graphic stuff. So instead I had to have an opposite sort of effect. But yeah, at first I thought I wanted to make this really modern, but it actually ends up being a mix of both, hence the what are you? But yeah. So with the different styles that were in this, the kind of shape of the build reminds me of something sort of European, the sort of A-frame shape, but an incomplete A-frame, which I think is pretty cool. And also I end up putting in a terracotta roof tiling color, and that to me is very Mediterranean or Eastern Europe. I spent some time in Hungary and they had a lot of terracotta roofs there, but you know, different kind of vibes there. And then I also used a mix of windows, and so I really like that. So this build is a bit unique in the layout because the bedroom is on the second floor. I originally thought that I might make it into two different like living spaces, like for two different like separate Sims living apart. But I figured that would make it too expensive to be a starter. So instead I just kind of went with the living space being downstairs. It's unconventional and maybe a little bit like, what's the word? Inconvenient. But I think it looks really cool. So yeah, I put that in. My color scheme came from the new brick that we got in the Dine Out pack. And so it's a white brick with some red accents in it, and so that inspired me to use a lot more red. I actually hardly ever use red in my builds. I'm more of a blue, green, yellow person, and so that was a lot of fun. I also added in these windows, and I do color them to be a bit red as well for a pop of color, and I liked how they accented or highlighted the shape of that roofing bit there. It's completely not functional, but I wanted it and so I added it. But yeah, the interior also follows pretty much the same sort of red and white theme as outside, but I didn't want to overdo it. So hopefully I didn't. But yeah, the bathroom is also on the basement floor, which I think could be a little inconvenient, but I don't know. I really liked how this turned out. I think it looks really cute, and a lot of my builds do focus on being convenient. Like I try and include like a bathroom on every floor. You know, I do a lot of ensuite bathrooms. I try and make sure the kitchen is nice and big, that sort of thing. But because this is a starter build, I figured I wanted to kind of let that tendency of mine go. But yeah, one of the things I also really like about this build is this table that I add in. It's one of the tables from the Dine Out, and it's higher up, and so it allows you to use bar stools for it, and I think that looks really cute. With the living room furniture, I had a little bit of trouble because the roofing stuck into the house a bit, and I couldn't fix it, so I kind of just tried to cover it up, so I hope you guys don't mind that it's there. I think I did a pretty okay job of covering it up. I think that in normal gameplay you wouldn't be able to see it. I think you'd have to be like in tab mode, kind of camera mode, and lower to the ground, so I think it's fine. With this bedroom, I broke away from the red and white color scheme just a little bit because I wanted to, make sure the whole place wasn't like that sort of uniform. And so this has all the essentials, I think. For this build, I actually didn't struggle with money as much as I usually do in a starter build, which makes me think that I maybe left something out, but I couldn't think of anything. I know that I didn't put in a computer because I figured, I'd let whoever buys this decide if they want a computer or not. So yeah, the entire second half of this build, I was just like, what am I forgetting? How do I have this much money? But it's a starter home price, so I think we're doing good. But yeah, here I'm putting the lighting, and that's the first time I've ever used that rectangular wall light. Just because I've never known what to use it before, it reminds me of something that you'd put around a mirror. But there aren't really any mirrors that fit it. So I've never used it before. Have you guys used it? What have you guys used it for? I'd love to hear in the description or in the comments down below. But yeah, so I end up putting a cork board with it and also a little calendar thing. So I don't know, that might not be everybody's thing, but I thought it looked kind of interesting. I also love this shelf here with all the plants. This house has a lot of plants. I really love plants. I think it gives builds a really nice lived-in look without being too cluttered. Because clutter is expensive in The Sims. I also use less expensive wall art, and so the walls are a bit more bare. And here I use these arrows to make sort of like an arrow tree, some sort of weird wall decal. I really like doing that. I think it's a lot of fun to kind of make your own artwork. But yeah, here's that cork board and sort of calendar thing. And so I kind of imagine like a young Sim just kind of putting up events or something on the cork board over their bed, and so I thought that was really cute. I really enjoyed it. The landscaping for this is also pretty plain. There's not that much, but I think it looks okay. I'm very torn because I'm so used to throwing everything in there, but when you're doing a starter, you don't have the money to do that. So I tried coming from an approach of making it purposefully look sort of plain, sort of Spartan, thus cluttered, and I think that turned out really well. But yeah, this build only took me about an hour and a half, which is very, very quick for me. Probably partially because it was so small, but usually even when a build is small, that can make it harder and take more time to kind of figure out configuration, but I guess I happen to be relatively inspired for this one. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this build. If you did, it's up on the gallery. My origin ID is penappleYT. If you did like this build, feel free to leave me a like, a comment, or subscribe. That would really be great. The screenshots are coming up soon, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!